What's up, guys? Brian with HappyThumbsGaming here, back with some more LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. This is Resistance Base Free Roam, which is part of the planet Dakwa. That's right. I apologize in advance again, as I am still struggling with this cold, but I didn't want these videos to get put on hold, so without further ado, we're going to go ahead and knock out 19 Kyber bricks. We're going to find 4 character tokens and even pick up a new ship along the way. Now, speaking of along the way, you've probably been following along, and you might remember that we actually have quick links down below in the video description if you're looking for maybe a specific character, or maybe you just want to toggle through the Kyber bricks, whatever it may be. However, we got to throw you a little bit of a whammy here. We got to go get a password from EISLEY. So instead of heading over to Dakwa, which we will do in a hot second, we're going to take a quick trip to Tatooine and all the way down to EISLEY. That's right. So basically, you know, we've tried to avoid planet hopping as much as possible. In this particular case, we got to swoop up a password real quick, which does require us to do a small task, but it doesn't unlock or do anything here at Mos Eisley. So that being said, you know, the perfect route, like I've already said, doesn't really exist, but the most efficient route is, you know, what we're trying to work on here still. So here we are, we've officially arrived, and we are going to go ahead and check out our map. Now, this, I did not run ahead or do anything. It just so happens that the password icon is available to us. So we go ahead and mark that bad boy, and if you find that it's not on your map, I highly suggest sort of just following our route and getting a little closer, as once you get close enough, it may ring it off. Now, we've been to Mos Eisley a few times, and it's possible that in our trudging around prior, it actually unlocked this for us. Maybe not, but we get all the way to the key, and wait a minute, it's behind a locked door. No more locked doors. Gracias. All right, we're going to go ahead and run around the backside here. Giggity. And once we get over here, we're going to find a couple of bouncy pads, or actually we got a couple of boxes that lead up to some bouncy, or bounciful, not bountiful, but bounciful awnings. And we'll go ahead and double jump over there, ba-boing. And once we get up on this ledge here, we're actually going to switch on over to a protocol droid and take control of a turret inside that room that is blocking our door. Now, if you look down to the left and right sides of the door, you're going to find a couple of, I guess they're like generators or such. Blast them away, and it's going to trigger an alarm. Now, quick tip for you guys as you return back to your character and go around the building here. I'm going to recommend that you pull out a baddie. That's right, somebody that's going to fit in and not be attack-worthy. Because if you run in there with like a Jedi, for example, all these stormtroopers are going to attack you like crazy. And what we want to do is go in here and flip this alarm switch off, and they're all just going to kind of just, you know, take off and mind their own. At this point, we're good to go. We're still undercover, so nobody suspects a thing. We'll go ahead and give them the old business. Cha, 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 cha. And of course, now that the room is nice and clear, we'll go ahead and free up the way to the protocol droid terminal and step on up. That's right. And got to get your spam on. Spam, 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 spam. Fill that meter and get the Dakwa Resistance Base storage room password. So that's going to come in handy as we are going to go ahead and jump on over to Dakwa. Now, this was one of my least favorite areas in The Force Awakens, as it was like large and heavy with collectibles. However, we knocked it out. I feel like we did a good job. Maybe you guys feel the same, maybe not. But we're going to go ahead and jump back in the new version of it, which is actually really simple. There's 19 Kyber bricks. A lot of them are just like, here you go, take it. Like, seriously, they give us a lot of them. However, we're going to throw you for another loop, as there is a target shooting gallery here. That's right, I said that funny, but it's a targeting training. Now, because I am going to make a video for the target challenge that is scattered throughout the galaxy, I try to take on these targets as soon as possible. So as soon as we land in the area, I try to run and do that first. It'll just make it easier for my editing. It'll also be good for the video in the sense that if you don't know where it is and you haven't been to that area and you're trying to complete that challenge early, which isn't recommended, but sometimes happens, at least you'll know exactly where to start and where to go along the way. So that being said, we're going to make our way all the way to the back left building here and hop up on its ledge using a couple of handhelds and flip the switch, which is going to open the door. Inside, we're going to find a couple of guys hanging out and a shooting gallery, which you'll find is pretty easy, I think, as long as you follow our recommendations, which is simply just use a bounty hunter and be on and off the aim down sight. So likely the left trigger button for you. And we're going to go ahead and step right up. And look at that. 4,000 points is what's required. And we'll go ahead and knock it out. That's right. So basically, there's a couple of targets on the left. They give you 100 points. They're nice and good. But the ones you really want to focus on are the AT-ATs and the old, I guess they're snow speeders flying by. Or maybe not snow speeders. I'm probably wrong on that. But in the back, or no, they're not AT-STs. They're AT-ATs. Pfft, come on, Brian. You trying to upgrade your status to villain here? All right, so again, locking on, locking off certainly helps, kind of snaps to some of your targets if you're struggling. As you can see, I'm just sort of moving left to right, right to left. I did take on some of those bigger moving targets as they do reward you with higher point totals. So definitely focus on those if you're struggling with that. Otherwise, go ahead and collect your Kyber brick and let's get on with it. Next up, we've got another one called Rebel Running. We're just basically going to go around kind of in a methodical order around the backside of the buildings here, all the way over to where we spawned. And then we'll kind of zigzag back and forth. Really, there's no particular order or way that you need to do this. So if you're using the quick links and you're doing it in a different order, that's A-okay. But this one here, Running Rebel, or Rebel Running, I should say. There's my dyslexia kicking in. We'll go ahead and use a Jedi, or a character with the Force, I should say. We basically just need to lift up this box. Now, you could play it kind of unsafe and just stand at your secondary character on that switch, which then you could toggle over to your other one and run over. Basically, you just need to stand on all 4 of the switches. So by standing on that first switch, it's going to open up or reveal the other 4. And if, you move away from it, it's actually going to close it up. So that's why we recommended putting the box on it. So we should be able to go back now and collect our brick as the cage is open. Thank you very much. Rebel Running is officially ours. All right, making good ground, guys, making good ground. So, again, hopefully you're not totally, like, weirded out or grossed out by my nasally drone being a little extra nasally today. But I apologize. Like I said, I just didn't want to, like, waste time. I wanted to keep these videos out and rolling. And speaking of out and rolling, we got a thermal detonator out thanks to our villain character here. It's going to go ahead and explode the old silver brick crate, I guess. And look at that, crucial supplies, giving us that Kyber brick. All right, all right. All right, next up, we do have a little bit of a rumor over here. Now, there it is, Cantonica Space again. See, I mentioned that in the last video. I don't know why that keeps popping up. It's kind of a funny glitch or a display glitch there. All right, next up, we're going to take on Thar Cargo A Go-Go. So this one, you can do this a couple of different ways. There is a box you can put a character on. You can pull it down, put a character on it, lift it up, and put him up there. Or you can simply just wait for your secondary character to get here and make sure that he is a protocol droid, or I guess an astromech works as well. But you just need to use the Force and lift up your droid up top, switch on over, collect the brick, and woo to the hoo. We got that brick, and hopefully you did too. All right, next up, we've got Welcome to Thar. This one is actually going to be right behind our landing place, right on the far right side, or I guess it's southeast if you're looking at the map. And once we get over here, I messed this up. Can you believe that? What a noob. Essentially, there are 4 buttons. Go ahead and tap them. And I miss, and I miss again, and then I take my time getting up the ladder. As it turns out, you can actually double jump with a Jedi character or even jetpack it up without having to use the ladder, which speed things up a little bit. But in these timed events, I always recommend that you start on the highest point or the most difficult point and then work your way down. So I didn't follow my own advice the first time, and I failed. The second time, worked like a charm. And I think I double jump right here and get up on the ledge. Look at that. So I definitely could have done that in my first go, except for I was just bad at jumping. All right, next up, we've got another Kyber brick. That's right. This is pretty Kyber brick intensive here. Only a few other items. In fact, there's only, 4 in 1, so 5 other items. This is actually a pretty light level. Now, there is a rumor up top there, and I've been pretty adamant about recommending you grab all of the rumors, as it just sort of helps put the missions and stuff and the tasks on the map, so when you look, you can see them. It also saves you some money, and you don't have to buy the rumor later if, in fact, you cannot find stuff, so just find it helpful. But we're going to skip this rumor because it happens to be one of the Wookiees. We're going to go right on by him all the way up to the high left side and collect the Kyber brick for Satellite Base. But as mentioned, the Wookiee up there, he's going to give us a rumor. But as it turns out, it's part of that Wookiee challenge. And there are 30 Wookiees scattered throughout the galaxy. We'll be back to get that at a later date, all in one video. So, like, I tag it right here and I start running because I thought I was going to this other one. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's the wrong one. What a noob. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and target this other rumor. That's right, fooled you. This one seems to be inside. How on earth are we going to get in there? Well, if you look around the base itself, you're actually going to find an astromech panel here. So go ahead and pull out your favorite mech and solve this puzzle from the inside out. Now, I get a little bit button happy there and almost messed that up, but get it there, spin to win, and open the door. Inside, we're going to go ahead and walk right up to the buddy who's, spreading rumors and such. And we're going to take note that, oh, look at that, Cantonica space again. So I don't know why it's doing that. And hopefully you guys aren't experiencing that. Hopefully it's just a weird thing for me. But inside this newly opened bunker bay, we actually find a couple of targets and a Kyber brick. So I'm going to recommend you take out some of these boxes on the right side. It's a little bit of a funny angle with the aim. And you can see I'm even having a hard time just getting those boxes out of the way. But eventually I do. I recommend you sort of stand towards the front where we just opened the door. You should be able to see all 4 targets from here. You might have to take a couple of steps, though, to get to that final one. It's way back there on the right wall, right above the brick. So you got 2 on the right, 1 kind of up the stairs, 1 right in front of the stairs, 1 up high left, and then the other one is right above the brick itself. So get all 4 of those, and the time allotted, it should open the door again and give us another brick. Bunker bounty. All right, we'll take it. Thank you very much. Next up, we're actually going to slide into this internal room, this little side piece here. It's actually called the Resistance Base Room. So we're going to target the brick and run right on inside. And let's see here. Inside, we've got a task called the Bacta Bother. This one actually requires us to provide the proper medicine for all 3 of the people who need help. So we're going to go ahead and show you. The left one is going to be yellow. So you're going to have to hit that button twice. Leave the middle one pink, and then the right one with the old Wookiee in it, it's going to be blue. Now, you're wondering, how did you know that, Brian? Well, there's a couple of posters scattered throughout. You can see the Wookiee's got a blue icon in front of him. On the opposite side here, we can see the other characters there, but look, there's a hidden icon there, so that's kind of tricky. And then, of course, the last one is this buddy over here who's hiding behind some boxes. So lets us know it's yellow. Once you got yellow, pink, blue in that proper order from left to right, go ahead and flip the switch in the back. It should deplete this little tube here. And it's going to go ahead and give them the proper meds. It was weird that it was just one tank being blue, and now we've got all these other colors, but we won't worry about the rainbow. All right, we'll go ahead and build up the bouncing blue bricks, though, into, that's right, a Kyber brick that'll complete Bacta Bother. It's kind of a fun thing to say. Bacta Bother. All right, next up, another Kyber brick. We're almost getting to those characters and ships, though. That's kind of fun. Next up, we got Attackodana. That's right. So this one, we're going to shoot some things in this same bunker. We're going to find a card on the ground. It's one of those SNES. Actually, psych, it's just an NES. I don't know why I always want to add that extra S. But it just looks like a little NES controller. We'll go ahead and mark on the map where this pluggable, or swiper in this case, is going to be. And it's actually out on the backside in the middle building here. So luckily for us, it shows us on the map where to go, making things nice and easy. We'll go up and get our swipe easy. And of course, once we swipe it, it should open up and give us that Kyber brick. Now, I know I did that a little funky with showing you the, picking up the pluggable first and then show. But you guys get the point, right? Like if you're following along, it should be pretty easy to understand. All right, next up, we're switching things up. We're actually going to check out this rumor real quick. Thank you very much. Again, Cantonica space showing up. I'm not sure why that is, but we won't worry about it too much. Next, we're actually going to target this doorway on the other side of the building we're on right here. We're going to go pick up our first ship, and it's actually the only ship of the area. And it's the Meson Matinet? Oh, boy. I hate it when they do this to me because I have no idea what that, and I'm sure one of you right now is just going, oh, my God, triggered. My bad. I sometimes botch that stuff up. All right, as soon as we come in the room, we're going to take a hard left and swoop all the way around into this little nook. Over here, there's going to be a silver box. We're going to switch to a villain character and pop its top with a thermal detonator and pick up the fuse. That's right, it's a fuse. We'll go ahead and slap this guy into place across the room. And that should open up the door. In fact, we don't even need to talk to Buddy. We just go ahead and pick up the old ship. And commandeering the command room is now complete. All right, there we go. The Meson Matinet? One of those has got to be close. All right, this next one threw me for a loop, you guys. I won't even lie. This one's called Resistance Riddles, and it's actually going to reward us with not one, but 2 character tokens. I actually don't see the second one pop. It took me forever to figure this out. Now, you got to speak to her. You got to actually access the little data pad next to her and then speak to her again. Once you do that, it should go ahead and cue off our first tip, which is going to take us out of this room. And we got to go basically bounce around and find a bunch of clues. That's right, totally got a clue right now. Make sure you talk to her again before leaving the room, as it will kind of, I guess, advance things. Maybe not, maybe I'm tripping there. But as it sits, it actually, like I said, it gives us 2 character tokens. We get the Kaydel Connix and the Kaydel Connix episode 9. Now, because I didn't see that second icon pop up, it took me about an extra 45 minutes of tooling around, looking through footage, because I was like, wait a minute. I got all the way done editing, and I only had 3 character tokens out. And so I had one more little, graphic that needed to be placed somewhere, but I couldn't figure out where it was. So I actually had to lean on the interwebs a little bit and go find somebody else's video, which is kind of unfortunate, but I had to do it. And then in that video, I actually discovered that there was 2 character tokens. So I went back to my footage, and at the very end of this task, you can actually see the icon start to pop up, but it disappears. So, but all right, we have officially carved through a giant log, giving us a whole new little area down here. And we got some of those, what are they called? The combat droids? I can't remember. The training? Something. There's a name for those, and I'm sure, again, I've probably just triggered a whole handful of you. But go ahead and take those guys down and continue the path all the way until the cave. Now, you guys have an option here. You can actually keep on keeping on through the cave and finish another task that'll give you a Kyber brick, or you can return to this area in a little bit. As you guys know, we don't like to double down on tasks if possible, right? Like, if it's going to be picked up along the way because a race makes you go through a Kyber brick, then we actually double them down. But if it can be avoided and separated, we usually try to do that. So we officially got our final clue here. We're going to go all the way back into this far corner, and we do need to find one more little piece here. Now, this guy is hiding in here, and if I remember right, I have to go in this other room, but it takes me a hot second to remember that. I'm like, wait a minute, I just scouted this, and it was up here, wasn't it? And I'm like, no, hit the brakes. In the room we go. So we've already been in here once, but we got to go one more time. Inside this room, on the hard right side, as I've spun around a lot, there is a clue in the corner. So, woot! It's actually, so I was wrong. It's not our final clue. We have one more. That was it. So now we got to go to the final place here. And once we get to that place, we should be able to make this happen. And then we'll get, so I'll show you too. Once we get there, it'll pop up the first one. And then I leave the building after talking to Kaydel. And as I arrive on the outside, it starts to pop up that I got that second character. But I actually pull up the menu and go to the map and mark the next brick. So that's my bad. But all right, we have to go up top for this last clue and flip a switch, which is going to open up the final door of the area here. And it's going to give us access to a couple of things. There's a ship in here we need to repair and some other stuff too. So let's see here. We'll go ahead and make our way all the way over to this far right corner here. And that's not what we're after. It's actually right there in the box. So there's actually 2 items there. If you noticed, I picked up the item we were chasing down, but there was also an item for another Kyber brick task that was sitting there too. And I'll get to that in a little bit. Go ahead and make your way, though, over back to where we started this mission, and we'll report in and get our character tokens. Plural. That's right, plural. All right, we have a quick little detour there. I'm not sure why she was like, oh, sweet, I'll just take this 2 steps to the right and wait for you to talk to me again. But look at that. All right, so Kaydel's Kyber is unlocked by completing that. We also got the Cantonica space again, so we've already done that. And there's Kaydel Connix, so I should have waited. Now watch this. Ready? Ready? It's going to pop up. 3, 2, 1. It starts to pop up. There it was right there. And then I overwrote it with the map. Now, the game historically has been really good about actually repeating that and showing it again, but it doesn't show it again. So my bad for that. Hopefully you guys can forgive me, but obviously I got it all squared away before you guys saw it, so hopefully it should be good to go. This next one is Kyber Brick. It's called Rat Race. Ooh, it's a race. I hope I win. All right, so we're going to follow all the way to the Kyber Brick. We notice that there is a line that goes into these computer terminals. It actually pops out the other side, and it goes right to a protocol droid terminal. So we'll step up to that, and inside we've got control of this little, what are these things called? Like mouse droids, I think. Basically, you got a short amount of time to get through a pretty decent maze. And I say pretty decent because it's electrified. And if you go through too fast, you'll get shocked. Now, it looked like it depleted my whole meter there, but it didn't. Like, I don't know what's going on. Anyways, be careful. Take your time. You have more time than I gave myself. Simply get on the switch at the end of that race. I get it. It's a little mouse droid in a little maze, right? Like science and stuff. All right, well, we got the rat race complete, and next up, we've got another Kyber Brick. This one happens to be down below us, so this is kind of a funny angle. Inside the storage room, back behind us, we're going to go down the stairs and sort of underground, if you will, into this nice little hidden room. This one is called Limited Power, and there's another glitch. What is that doing there? Anyways, we'll go ahead and step to the back. We notice there are 2 switches or levers that need to be pulled down. And we'll go ahead and hop on with our first character, toggle over to the second, jump up, grab it, and that is that. See, I told you, there are a lot of bricks that are just sort of gimmies, right? Like, we didn't have to do hardly nothing for that one. I ain't complaining, though. All right, a little bit of misdirection there with that display glitch. I don't know why there's all these little mishaps now. I mean, can't blame the devs, or can we? No, I won't. There's a lot of game here, guys, and a lot of room for mistakes, and over time, I'm sure they'll get them all corrected. But all right, next up, we're actually going to go out the back door, giggity, and once we get out, we're actually going to, I think we take on a quick rumor. Yep, that's right. Let us have it. Ooh, engine problems. We were talking about that one a minute ago. I actually just discovered an item for that task. We'll come back to that in a minute. We got another one of these floaters here. In fact, you can actually grab a box with a character on it and do it that way, or you could just simply lift up any of your droids. This is a fun fact that you guys taught me. I was like, I don't know, halfway through free play, I think you guys explained to me that, you know, you don't have to use one of those boxes. You can actually just, and I was like, what? So big helpful tip from you guys. Appreciate that. All right, we got another rumor up here. Anybody watch the Umbrella Academy? There's a character on there that actually, she actually says, I heard a rumor. And then she can say whatever she wants to the person she's speaking to, and that rumor will be, so she can be like, I heard a rumor you don't like to speak, and like you won't be able to talk anymore. So like every time I go up to a rumor, I always think of her. But which that show just got renewed for the final season, which is exciting but also bittersweet because I did enjoy the storyline. So I mean, come on, you guys, Klaus is the. Anyways, all right, we got a race. I won't use my rat race comment because I already used it. A little more appropriate as the actual task was called rat race. But basically, I recommend using a Jedi. I also recommend jumping as much as possible when you are on any of the walking or hippa to the hoppa spots. Just because you move faster when you're not kind of balancing or teeter-tottering, if you will. And so, therefore, by jumping, you can actually disassociate with whatever you're standing on and keep on with the keeping on. So, look at that. There's plenty of time, though, guys. Look at that. I had 34 seconds. You needed 50 or less. So, I mean, I had 15 plus seconds. So, a little bit of room for error, and it's not very long. So, I think you guys will get that. I'm confident, anyways. And Assault on Dakar is over. Next up, we've got another character. This is not the sharpest tool in the box. I am sure that somebody has referred to me as that a time or two in the past. Probably Nom, if I'm being honest. But no, I'm just kidding. Anyways, moving along, we're going to go all the way over to the it's the first bunker or the last bunker, depending on how you're looking at the area. And we're going to go ahead and drop on the inside. And in the back right corner is our droid we're going to have a nice little conversation with. In this particular one, we actually need to go search out and find another character And basically, he's not the smartest in the toolbox. So he gives us a little hologram, right? We've done this before. This is not our first rodeo. And there he is. So we're going to go ahead and follow a trail of hints or rumors, if you will. And basically, you just got to run around into the hot zone on your compass, which is indicated by the yellow flashing circle. And then in that circle, you got to find the characters with the green exclamation point, comment balloons. And luckily for you, I know where all of them is, so we're going to run right to all three. And then this one is like, oh, hey, you mean this guy over here? So we're going to run into the bunker where we're going to fix that ship in a minute. And he's actually tucked around on the right-hand side, which is kind of funny because we found another item over here, too. We actually had the item from the last quest when we were bouncing around taking rumors and looking for stuff was right in here as well. So kind of weird that they put them both in the same spot, but you know what? I won't complain. Next up, we're actually going to take on, well, there we go. We got to wait for that character icon to pop up. There we go. R2Q5, officially ours. Next up is engine problems. We just got this rumor a minute ago, but we also had found this particular task a little bit ago. And if you look, it's got 3 different parts. They're actually different, too. They look similar, but one has a 1 notch on it, a single notch. There you go. We got it. It's on the left side of the bunker. We'll pick that up and we'll slap that into the first spot. It is important to note that there are 3 different pieces and they do have a specific order in which they go. So obviously next we're going to look for the piece with the 2 prong on it, which is found on the right side. We're going to slap that into the middle as it's the second piece. Last but not least, the third one is actually given to us with a pluggable icon, and it's actually up top here. We're going to use a grapple point with old Django, and it rips it on down and drops the third and final piece along with some other stuffs. We'll go ahead and slap it into place. Once they're all in the right order, 1, 2, and 3 from left to right, go ahead and flip the lever and it should power up this bad boy. And eventually he gets all excited and like celebrates, and then he realizes, whoops, we have too much power, and it blows up this machine, and oh no. And the good news is, though, it pukes out a Kyber brick. We will collect it, and we will be on our way to the 4th and final character token, which is going to be pretty sweet. And then we just got, looks like 5 or so Kyber bricks after this, and then we're done. So, you know, a lot of these free roam levels are averaging about 45 minutes to an hour. A couple of them in a little bit over, a couple of them in a little shorter. And in this case, we're going to luck out and get a little shorter. Wish I was a little bit shorter. Wish I was no, it's taller, not shorter. Whoops. All right. Not to time date this video too, but as we're accepting the Attackodana mission here, big RIP to the rapper Coolio. Man, he just passed away yesterday, and you know, he was a pretty big deal in my high school years in the 90s, and so anyways, he will be missed. All right, as you might have noticed, we actually need to travel off planet to go help with this mission. And so we're going to go ahead and choose Maz's castle. And once we arrive here, we are greeted with that same little bot, which happens to be R2KT. Luckily, I have that character icon there because I would not have remembered that. It's old Pinky in the brain, right? No? I don't know if I've ever seen a pink astromech before. Like, that's a new one for me. I'm not against it. But look at this. I didn't know you could hop on. I knew you could hop on the gonks, but look at me. Woohoo! Like, that should be a short. I don't ever make YouTube shorts, but that right there, that's just hilarious. He hops on and is out of there. All right, when we arrive, we actually have a whole bunch of stormtroopers trying to take out some of our friends. And I'm going to recommend that you actually pull out a bounty hunter. And I'm going to go ahead and assume you've been following along with us and that you have even done the quick upgrades and such. So, like, you've probably upgraded your blasters. If you have not, I recommend looking into that right now from the core upgrades, as it will help with, you know, stuff like this, right? Like, it takes down the bad guys a lot faster. And with the triple burst of the bounty hunter and the overpoweredness of the upgrade of the blaster, that it makes this quite easy. Now, fun fact for you, as you guys mostly know, I usually do a run and figure all this stuff out on my PS4 save for this. So I play through all of this stuff twice for you guys. Once to figure it out, once to record it and hopefully know or look like I know what I'm doing. And in my first go on the PS4, I actually had not upgraded a bunch of the core stuffs. I skipped some of the free play and the stuff because I didn't need that for this particular save file. So I ended up not having as many studs and not as much spending stuff. So my core upgrades have not been upgraded. Therefore, my blaster was still stock. And I died twice trying to defend these guys. So there's also a ship right there that you can hop on that I do believe has a cannon on it. It might help you out as well. But I just recommend upgrading your blaster and pulling out your favorite bounty hunter. As you can see, I have did this. And one fun fact for you guys, too, as we go ahead and claim our reward here. If you're finding that it's not progressing at all, look at your compass and make sure there's no red dots. The red dots represent the bad guys. If there's a bad guy nearby, he might be required in order to finish that. So just look for that if it's not going anywhere. But all right, we are going to go ahead and talk to this guy here. It was a rumor for this area, so that'll be something that'll help in the future. Won't necessarily help for this particular video, but like I said, when we return to Attackodana and take on Maz's castle, we will have an extra rumor that we won't have to get later. But again, you guys use your own discretion whether or not that's something you want to do. But meanwhile, we are out of there. And again, because this is a free roam video, any of the excess travel and load times have been removed, so it might seem a little faster. And look, I'm jumping for joy down there. You guys notice that too? That like one of your characters is often available and on the landing pad or where your ship's landing in the new area you're supposed to be just arriving to, but you're already there until you load, and it's so weird. Again, not knocking the devs. Love this game. It's been very kind to me. I know some of you have ran into some pretty heavy glitches. I have yet to really see any of those. I just get the display stuff the over and over. Like I'll do a task and then it'll go away, and then I'll do another task and then all of a sudden that other one will pop up again. I've had that quite a bit, fooling me, or trying to anyway. So, all right, next up, we've got the password reminder. Now, if you've been using quick links and bounce around, you might find that you do not have the password for this because you might have skipped the Mos Eisley trip. So definitely need to take a quick detour or vacation over to Mos Eisley and get the password by following along with what we did at the beginning of this video. It's actually the first quick link on your list. And if you got it, go ahead and choose the Dequa password. And it's the resistance base password, I think is what it was. And it opens the door. We just walk in and grab it. So pretty simple stuff, but technically we've already done most of the task. We just finally got our reward. All right, next up, Dequa Dash. This one is out on the far side of the bunker here. Of course, I'm going to go check this rumor out. And look at that, Science and Nature, now available. We'll get that in a little bit. We're going to hop on this ship here and go ahead and float into the starting point and go ahead and start this bad boy. Now, the good news is you can mess up a little bit here. There's a little extra time. And if you mess up, you can return right back and do it all over again. So it's not a big deal. It's actually a really short race. You just have to do it in under 40 seconds to get that gold and get that Kyber brick. Now, I recommend just being on the throttle the whole time. The turning is a little sloppy, so you might want to start turning a little earlier and know it's going to take you a little bit longer to make your turns. But all in all, look at that again. I had about 14 seconds extra. So lots of leeway, if you will. All right, remember earlier we had to cut through this log and go all the way down through that cave, and I mentioned that there was another Kyber brick task that was available to you, but we were going to come back and get it later. Guess what? It's officially later. We're going to go ahead and carve out a hole here because we actually left the planet to go do the Attackodana mission, and now that we've returned, it has respawned, and luckily, for some reason, I couldn't tag this brick, but now we got a tag. We're just going to run by these trainers and get all the way down through the cave. Come on, throw it, toss it, smash it, boom it, go it. And to the hard right here, and through the cave, and we're going to find some more of these training bots. Take them down and smash everything towards the front right side. So basically towards the cave. Once you smash all the logs and debris and take out all the baddies, it should give you a bouncing pile of bricks and an option for a multi-build. Now, full disclosure here, both PS4 and PS5 goes, I built the same thing. I am assuming you can build both items to fix this. One is a fan, one is a water cannon. I went with the water cannon both times for obvious reasons. I thought the fan might stoke the fire a little bit and make it larger. but might not. You guys feel free to choose whichever you want. You can knock down the build and rebuild it, so it's not like you're stuck and won't be able to get it if you build the fan up and it doesn't work. But, you know, hey, let me know in the comments if you're feeling a little bit risky and want to test that out for me. You know, you can leave a comment for other viewers. All right, all the way back up top, we've got Piping Hot Reward. This one is in the back left corner of the area, just beyond our race. In fact, you might not have even known it was here until you did the race, because we went right on by it. Usually when you get close enough or within a certain vicinity of a task, it'll often pop up on the map and reveal itself. This one's super simple. There's a target hiding in the tree line right up behind it. Simply stand in front of it, looking right at the device, and you should be able to look up into the trees and find it. Booyakashow! We officially got that. We got one more to go, though. Let's go ahead and pop up our map, mark it here, and which way do we go? Which way do we... There we go. It's way up in the corner. Okay, so this one's called Kyber in them there hills. This is another one of those that you may not have even known was here until you did that race. And it's in the final far corner here. And we've been by it a couple of times, in fact, and we missed it. And this was actually the first Kyber brick I got in my PS4 Go, because it showed up on my map and I knew it was there. I forgot it was even here on my PS5 Go, but... guess what? We've got it. Kyber in them thar hills is officially ours. And woot to the hoot. We'll go ahead and collect that brick. And look at that. We got all 19 of the Kyber bricks. We got that one ship token. And, of course, all 4 of the character tokens. Whoo-wee. Feeling pretty good. We're not quite in the home stretch, but we're almost into single digits as far as how many free roam planets are left. We still got some space stuff and some challenges and some cleanup. So lots of videos and lots of content left, but we're getting pretty close with the free roam. So, hey guys, check us out on social media. HappyThumbsGaming.com is available too if you haven't checked it out. As for me though, that's going to do it. As always, until next time. See ya.